Hey there, you guys. Welcome to day 20 of Don't Forget Your Worth, the YouTube channel with the matching podcast titled the same. I'm Andrea, and I welcome you to a story that I just printed hot off the press. I'm going to boogie on through this just because I'm having some technical difficulties, we're going to call it. Like I haven't gotten day 19 up onto the channel yet just because it says I don't have enough memory, so I removed everything. I mean, I took apps off. I took my email off. I took every video besides just my most two recent ones off. I mean, I'm just trying to figure out how can my thing not have enough space to download this. So then I'm like, well, I'll be super cool and I'll just get ahead of the game and go, sorry, I've got some in my eye. I'll do the podcast first, And then sure enough, my podcast app isn't opening on my phone, which is a totally different device. So I'm like, man, you guys, I'm just feeling picked on today. So I'm going to try this. Let's see what happens here, should we? I'm like, this is ridiculous. This is a piece called Mind Games. And so it begins. I was frustrated and couldn't figure it out. I studied. I'd always gotten great grades. I graduated at the top of my class. I knew my notes and materials from the college lectures inside out, forwards and backwards. I even loved the subject and enjoyed the reading. Andrea, gosh, come on, girl, you know this stuff. I sat in the office of my geography professor, who had asked me to come see him. Ooh, aren't those like the worst words ever? Can you come see me after class? No, not ever. During the large lectures, with hundreds of freshman students lining the rows and rows of auditorium chairs, anytime the professor asked a trivia question about our subject, 9 times out of 10, my hand would be the first to shoot up in the air. The professor was just as puzzled as I was. He was holding my test results in one hand and a copy of the original test in the other. So, Andrea, can you tell me? And he would ask me the same types of trivia that he did in class. He asked question after question after question after question without even telling me if I was answering right or wrong. He asked the questions, firing one after the other, and I answered quickly and with authority without any doubt. The room was then quiet. Tears were forming and taking up their places as I was trying to be strong when feeling questioned about why I was such a failure. Then, Andrew, what is going on? You clearly know this material. Is there something going on that is stressful outside of school, at work, with a roommate, anything you care to talk about? I said quietly, shaking my head. Nothing. Nothing? No. I've never done well on multiple choice tests ever. I don't even know why. And the thing is when I know the answers, I could tell you right where I recall it from. If it's on the left page or on the right page, where on the page, and if there's a picture on that page, and even what it is a picture of. You could see bells going off in this professor's head, although I was still confused to no end and was hurting deep down. He grabbed a textbook from the top of his shelf, top of his desk that was tucked under file folders and stray papers. He opened it and asked me a trivia question that had not been on the test. Again, and one more. Now tell me, what picture is on the page with that text, he said. There's a water wheel overlapping a picture of power lines going over a wheat field, I said without hesitation. I admit to this day, I can still see those pictures. That's even still true since I've written this. I can see them. He closed the book and rested it in his hands, leaning forward with his elbows on his knees, looking me dead in the eye. You appear to have what's called a photographic memory, he said. I am guessing that the reason you are having troubles with multiple choice is that you are reading and memorizing the test and answers like a textbook, as facts. Every answer becomes a fact, like a textbook. Freeing that day was. Absolutely freeing. This professor, it turns out, was right. My ability was showcased as a study at the Oregon Health and Science Center, which I could walk to from campus, and solution-wise, we were on our way. They made me feel genius and brilliant, not the worthless failure clothing I wore in that first day. As well, they would pay me $30 an hour just to run mind drills anytime, no appointment necessary. I would walk out with a check in my hand. It turns out, if the answers were stacked up and down, then I read them like options on a menu. But if the answers were written left to right, then my mind wanted to imprint and memorize them as a Bible verse, textbook, fact. I was so thankful we had discovered, quote, this photographic gift. Like almost everything, this gift has come with a price, you guys. Combining heart, mind, spirit, and soul, this gift has come with a price. Heart, mind, spirit, soul. My whole being was gullible and naive. I was gifted a brilliant mind with a heart and soul that could be taken to the mat without my even realizing it. I would believe that people were telling me the truth, taking it in, processing, and stashing it away as fact, when they so clearly weren't. They were lies. Andrew, you are smarter than this. You should have known better. Never. Nobody is smart enough to track down every lie or to spot every liar. Holy Spirit, come on in. Be near me. I stood strong when it came to rules. Holy Spirit, keep me safe from peer pressure. I stood strong when it came to authority. Holy Spirit, be the strong one today in the courtroom. I stood strong when it came to conviction. Holy Spirit, show me, please, if I am outside of your perfect will. But I was weak when the enemy... That's fun. It's not for me. But I was weak when the enemy came to me with a brilliant sales pitch, packed up in a handsome package, quoting a God-focused future, like honey to my lips and music to my ears. Emotions imprint, smells, sights, sounds, words, imprinted for good, forgetting next to nothing. Gift, blessing, curse. It allows me to write to you with emotion that puts you there, because I can go back right there, all of it. But my heart is almost always taking very careful notes and pictures, even in painful times, imprinting and memorizing with my heart and head. The intricacies of the brain amaze and baffle scientists to no end. We still know less about the brain than any other organ. Other than that, we clearly don't use it to full capacity. You are smart, really, really smart. Just not even close to as smart as our magnificent God. Just please do not beat yourself up because you are not smarter than the enemy. I have done all of that for you, years worth. The enemy is good at what he does. I have to give, quote, the loser that much credit. He is really good at being rotten. Manipulative, deceiving, and smart, knowing our weaknesses like the back of his hand. The great news is that the Holy Spirit is smarter by far. Invite the Holy Spirit in. Jesus in us, completing the Holy Trinity to beat this race we call life. Holy Spirit, come on in. Protect me. Pour out of me. Overflow the very brim of me. We are listening. Holy Spirit, come. I love you. That was kind of a killer fun piece. I think I referenced it last week. I was telling you, I'm like, I've got to find that one story. Because in that, right, part of the miracle stories that I'm telling you, right, they're not all like big medical miracles or some, wow, someone walked out of a car. No. You guys, the real miracle story of a lot of this is that you are the miracle. That you find out your worth, that you know that you were created with big purpose in mind. So what I'm trying to show you is that things about yourself that you may see as weakness. We thought this was weakness. And in a way, like I say, then the gift comes with the tough stuff too. But in that, you're perfectly fashioned for what you are called to do. So it's really clear to me now, looking at it, that one of the reasons I remember these stories from when I was teeny is that I was supposed to be able to remember them, just like I was sitting there that same day, so that I can write and feel the emotion and see the pictures and images that I was looking at way back then, to be able to create these pieces that are to tell you guys your worth. Isn't that something? And I'm hoping that you see the hugeness of why you are the miracle. Like, the miracle is you and you knowing your worth. It really is, because that's when we hit the sweet stuff. And you can start walking out your stride and your purpose when you really recognize what you're called here to do. I mean, that's the big thing, is it's like, I do my day-to-day job. I was just thinking that today, and yet it's like, I still know that one of the reasons I'm reaching out and doing this is because, that's a label that I wear. I'm a senior interior designer, showroom manager. These are just labels that I wear. They're things that I do, but they're not the real significance that I bring to the world. Do you know what I mean? It's the things that are going to impact and make a difference. And those are our stories, you guys. They aren't what we're doing. They aren't like the data entry specialist. They are your stories of orchestration of what the Lord has done in your life. So I want you to just stay encouraged. Just stick with it. And I know that God's doing his thing. I keep telling you, and don't forget, or make sure you, and it's like, you know what, Lord, just do your thing. I'm just going to count on him to be speaking into you like crazy in your quiet spirit, that I can just know with rest assurance that this is doing the work that it's intended to do. So I thank you for being a part of it. If something does tug at your heartstrings, you know it, you share it. It's just the right thing to do. And then in that, if you're like, man, I'd love to just get this every day than having to search for it all the time, just press subscribe. Come on, giddy up and do it. We're being ridiculous here. So the good news, I will see you tomorrow. So you guys have a great night, and I'll talk to you then. Take care.